Whispers in the window are angry waves. Way ho the sea of souls, down to the mists as the ocean slaves. Way ho the sea of souls. Way ho the sea of souls. Way ho the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Now drop the anchor and grab some grog. Way ho, the sea of souls. We'll make a new entry in the captain's log. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hey ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Oh, way ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Sea of souls. Whispers in the window are angry waves. Way ho, the sea of souls, down to the mists as the ocean slaves. Way ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Now drop the anchor and grab some grog. Way ho, the sea of souls. We'll make a new entry in the captain's log. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hey ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Oh, way ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Sea of souls.
Welcome, travelers, to the world of Eudora, a realm of chaos. A flat world literally held up by the pillars, ancient beings who first formed the world but, sadly, left it flawed. The tides of chaos break free every few thousand years to rip the world apart, leaving it reformed and alien to those fortunate, or perhaps unfortunate enough, to survive. Our adventure takes place in the Broken Isles, a region once dominated by land which sunk and split apart during the deluge, the great flood that accompanied the last chaos tide nearly 800 years ago. This new world of seas and islands has become the crossroads of civilization as the Age of Sails brings with it new discoveries and new threats. Nations vie for power even as forces gather to threaten them all. Pirates and marauders hunt the seas, while creatures of the deep cast hungry eyes towards the surface. Ancient foes and new, unexpected enemies ply their schemes. The year is 770 in the age of exploration, and the tides of chaos continue to threaten to drown all things in their wake. If the Broken Isles, indeed if Eudora herself, are to survive, the world will need heroes, whether they be willing or not. Enter 4 strangers, each with their own agendas and own reasons for joining a ragtag crew, who are about to set sail on the most dangerous sea of all, the Sea of Souls, where the drowned refuse to stay at the bottom, where the sea herself comes alive to feed on ships reckless enough to travel her dark waters. Mystery and adventure await. Ahoy there, adventurers! My name is Craig, aka Pundy, and I'll be DMing our Sea of Souls campaign, which takes place in this homebrew world I have lovingly brought to life. We hope that you enjoy everything that we are about to bring you.
We're good. Hello. Welcome to the Elder Brain and our first session. Words escaped me for a second there of the Sea of Souls, a live D&D stream campaign. We're just a bunch of guys hanging around playing D&D. We're not pros, but we're going to do some D&D and have some fun, and I hope that you will enjoy what we have for you. We just want to do a couple of things for our first session just to get things underway. We don't want to talk too long because that's boring. We want to play some D&D because that's what we're here about. But we'll do some introductions just to get things out of the way. So I'll start with myself. My name is Craig, also known as Pundy online. I am going to be the DM for this campaign, and I've created this world and kind of done all this setting that we're going to be running things in. So that is my role in this, and we will go to Mike. And it's awesome. The art is amazing. Let's hold off on the character intros. We'll just do our like personal intros. Yeah, that's Mike. Devin.
Hello, I'm Devin. I'm mostly a DM, but I've been playing the game since I was 11. So
just a while.
I guess I'm a veteran now, as if you can call me that. And I'm looking forward to being able to drop into a world and hang out with these guys.
Sweet.
Also, I did most of the video editing.
Yes, he did a lot of the video.
And I wrote the lyrics to the theme song.
Yeah, we've all had quite a few parts in this, so it's been a long time coming in a big production. So I'm really excited for it. But yeah, thanks, Devin. Ian.
I'm Ian. I've been playing since I was 7, just to one up you, Devin, and that's a longer time too because I'm like way
just
older.
a few years. Just a few years.
I'm also a frequent DM, and I'm happy to be playing because playing is awesome fun. I like to keep DMs on their toes, so look out.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, and otherwise I'm contributing QA and troubleshooting. That's kind of my and sounding board. That's my big contribution.
Ian also, I would say, amongst all of us, probably has the most extensive like rules and like book knowledge. I'm gonna throw that one out right away. That Ian definitely claims that title, so that is relied upon. So good job, Ian. Jack, Mr. Jack.
Good evening. My name is Jack. I have been playing D&D and D&D adjacent games since I was about 13, 14. I'm not sure what my role is here, but Craig told me that if I participate, he'll let me out of the basement early. So here I am. And as long as we're doing plugs, I also do a podcast on YouTube with my friends Kiki and Cody called Grave Party, where we discuss various monsters from horror movies, slasher movies, kaiju movies, anything that's got monsters in it. We're down to talk about it. We've got an upcoming episode about the sci-fi original movie Dog Soldiers, so stay posted for that.
Awesome. All right. Well, with introductions out of the way, let me do a little bit of a story introduction. So we had that little video that kind of set things up as far as the world goes and kind of gave you a basis of what things are going to look like. But I have a little bit more of story to get us started here. And this is something that it kind of takes some inspiration from Ghosts of Saltmarsh, which is an awesome RPG book. It's one of my favorite source material for D&D 5th. I absolutely love all the content in it. So I've taken a lot of inspiration from that, even when it comes to ship designs and kind of all the seafaring stuff that's going on. So there will definitely be some influence from that. But this is a original story, a homebrew game, homebrew world, homebrew cast, where we're just going to have some D&D fun, and it's going to be good. Well, let's set the scene, shall we? And then we'll jump into the game. Our story first begins before the events of this evening in the city of Galadrin, capital of the blossoming kingdom of Valeria, where a young man named Tayland first boards the ragged crew of the Intrepid Devil under the command of Captain Boone. With vengeance in his heart and a flintlock at his side, and likely more than a few bottles of the hard stuff in his gut, Talon sets to the seas looking for a man he doesn't know how to find, but knows he must. The Intrepid Devil is a cargo vessel known to take on dangerous missions and jobs that other ships steer clear of. Having just finished a delivery, it's on its way back to its port of call, the harbor town of Easthold. While in port and picking up a delivery for the infamous free town of Porto de Arias, Talon's crew is joined by a goblin on the run, willing to take whatever job he can on the ship just to get out of port. Captain Boone isn't one to ask questions, so Flick is hired on. After a long journey at sea, first taking the long way round to Porto de Arias to avoid sailing the haunted waters of the Sea of Souls, then north through the difficult to navigate archipelago to drop a delivery off for the Avery Spire. I know I probably said that word wrong, it's okay. The Devil sails around the northern edge of the Sea of Souls through a bay called the Mouth of Desfuna, where it happens upon a solitary turtle occupying a ruined lighthouse, who, for his own mysterious reasons, joins the crew. Captain Boone is eager for the extra muscle and, as usual, asks no questions. And so it is that the Intrepid Devil finally returns to Easthold, her crew eager for some shore leave. Tayland, Flick, and Torque, having gotten to know each other a little better, head into town, where they spot an unusual sight. A tall dragonborn with pale golden scales walking towards the docks. And that is where we will begin our adventure this evening. Gentlemen, the three of you have exited the ship, are walking into the town of Easthold. The fourth member walking in your direction.
There's something you don't see every day. Couldn't help but notice you've got rather lustrous scales. You don't think it is? From what I've read from the various tomes of the Church of Desfuna, they talk of the radiant dragonborn to be certainly a blessing, absolutely something of divine ordinance. Well, I can certainly understand not getting along with your fellow kin. How may we be of service to a scaly one such as yourself?
My
Nick, we can't hear you in Twitch for some reason. No, I'm getting feedback that your audio is not heard. Yay! It's okay.
Is the mic just not picking up, or?
Yep.
We can hear you in Zoom.
I mean, we're following along in the conversation.
I will.
Listen, everybody's got blind spots.
Okay.
Hey, it's
How about
okay.
now?
There's
Can
a
you hear
lot
me
of stuff
now?
trying to
I
get
bet they
together
can hear me
for
now.
I'm still getting a no.
Well, give it 20 seconds. My
there
microphone
we
was
go.
set
Yeah,
to.
there it
Yeah,
is.
there it
Yeah,
is.
there it is,
Okay.
there
Oh
it
my
is.
goodness.
Hey!
Wow.
There
My
it is.
microphone was set to default, and my computer was just like, "What's default mean?" Thanks, Windows, OBS.
Hey, you know what? It's better now than 30 minutes in, right, Devin?
It's true. It's very true.
Exactly.
Nothing important's really happened. Just some meaningless dialogue.
Just some
It's
character
yeah.
backstory. It's all good.
Well, Mike, why don't you bring us up to speed as to what you were saying then?
All right. Well, Dinar was explaining that his shiny, his pale golden scales were supposed to be a blessing from the gods, but that was not how his dragonborn kin of the east saw it, which is why he has come out to the Sea of Souls looking for work. And Tayland asked what exactly he's looking for, and he suggested that he's looking for redemption on the seas.
I don't know if you're going to find redemption per se on our fine vessel, but you definitely find work. Lots of work to be done there. Isn't that right? Hey, Dork. So this is the Flick the Goblin speaking, and he sort of slaps the turtle on the shoulder, or as high up as he can reach, I guess.
My
A blessing
experience
from
that
Disfuna would be auspicious for traveling the open seas.
it's been my experience that redemption is not something you'll find on the sea. Retribution, however, that remains to be seen.
Well,
Whatever it is, I'm kind of running from something right now, so.
I hear that, brother. But we just pulled into harbor for a little bit of leave, so why don't you come get a drink with us, and we'll talk business. How's that sound?
Yeah, all right, I guess. Don't see too many friendly goblins.
It's because you haven't met them all yet. Let me tell you, we'll go out for a drink, and I'll tell you about the whole clan. We're a fantastic group. Flick Dog Slicer, and I got some stories about my Uncle Scab that will just put you on the floor. It'll be great.
You had an uncle named Scab?
Absolutely. Him and Auntie Varicella are the kindest goblins you ever met.
Well, I'll have to take your word for it, I guess.
Absolutely.
I suppose I should introduce. I'm Dinar Neurixius.
Nice to meet you, Big D. All right, let's is there a bar in this town? It's a port. There's got to be a bar, right?
Definitely. So those of you who have been in port before, there are a few establishments catering to different crowds. There is one that is pretty much right by the docks, and it is called the Creaky Leg Inn, and it's kind of most of the dock hands, who don't want to really go into town, but just kind of want to get off the ship. That's kind of their first stop. It's what you'd expect of a, pirate-esque bar, dockside bar. Lots of poorly sung music coming from inside. People kind of sitting around the building on the outside. And that's like right where you guys kind of are on the docks. There are a few different establishments. There is the Prim Prawn, which is sort of the hoity-toity inn, which is very, very upscale. There is also the King's Cozy, which is sort of more of your like middle line. Not too many sailors go in there, but it's kind of like where people mix and match. And then you got the Wayfarers Inn, which is like the bottom of the barrel, really, really cheap drinks, really, really bad stale food. So the choice is kind of yours as to how much you want to spend and what you kind of want to hit up.
Which one is like the closest geographically to where we currently are?
That would be the Creaky Leg, which is like right by the docks. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Torque just makes a beeline for that one.
Laziness prevails.
It's a big building. It's like mostly wood. It's got on the side that's against the water. You can see the line of the tide. You can see, barnacles and stuff that are coming up against the kind of the field stone, the work stone that makes up that whole side of the inn. And the smell of fish, it kind of permeates the air. It's kind of the main fare here, as would be expected. And entering into the Creaky Leg, you just see everybody who looks kind of like you, and there's people from all over the place. There's orcs, goblins, dwarfs, humans, elves, anything you can imagine. It's just a ragtag crew. The tables are full. There doesn't really seem to be too much space. You might have to share, or there looks to be enough people that are drunk enough that you could probably just kind of shove them out of the way and they wouldn't really know the difference. But the music is loud. Nobody really pays much attention as you walk in. And it seems like a decent enough place.
What time of day is it right now?
It's probably about mid-afternoon.
Oh, jeez. Sailors, am I right?
Taylor getting the twitches already? Is that the...
No. However, I do need to go have some words with the current musicians. I'll be right back.
Yeah, the music is definitely lacking in skill. It's almost kind of like a karaoke bar.
Stop playing Drunken Sailor. It's the most cliche song.
You see a couple of halflings up there right now. One's got a flute, the other's got drums, and they're singing badly out of tune. None of the words are right. They're kind of like in between. They're like mixing songs together, but nobody really seems to care. There's nobody really paying attention. It's just kind of like the music that's in the air in the background, and it's enough to kind of just fill that ambiance without anybody really paying too much attention to it.
Is this where you guys hang out often?
I mean, what's not to like? They got drinks, there's a roof, it doesn't leak too much, and there's noise. It's fantastic.
Simple. All right. I could get used to simple, sure.
Come on, I'll find a not too wobbly stool for you. We'll sit down.
Dinar, I would say as you walk in, the other three don't draw too much attention. Torque draws a little bit.
Does Torque look in the doorway?
Ignore it.
Turtles they're not like rare, but you still don't see too many of them. They're not like very numerous people. So as he walks in, and he's rather large, right? Torque is this big hulking figure with a,
I imagine there's kind of like this like groan of like the wooden door frame as he kind of like squeezes himself in, and then just this like loud groaning of the floorboards as he just lumbers up to the bar and just like sees the stool, which is nowhere near large enough to support his weight, and just kind of pushes it out of the way, and then just sidles all the way up to the bar and just stands there.
So Torque definitely gets some looks. Dinar, you get quite a few, and it's something you've become used to, but it's still noticeable as you walk in. And there are a few other Dragonborn here, more kind of not looking quite as established as you are, right? Like their clothing is much more sea worn. And as you walk in, there's a few eyes that just kind of look at you, kind of give you the glance over for a minute, go back to drink. But
does the music stop?
The music does not stop. The halflings seem to be in their own world and aren't really paying attention to anything other than themselves at the moment.
Hello. Look.
All right. Can't you see we're playing a song? Yeah.
Is that what you call that?
Well,
Allow
I mean,
me.
But all right.
Just follow my lead.
Sure. The one on the drums just kind of like, whatever. Starts just continues drumming even as you start, like before you even start, just, I'll figure it out. Go for it.
All right, then. I'll start into hopefully something a little less walkabout, but still well known enough that they might be able to pick up on it.
Give me a performance check, if you will.
First roll.
Payland.
All right.
As the bard begins.
Look at that.
Hey.
19. All right. First roll. We're off to a pretty good start. As you start in, the conversations do stop for a moment. As you know, when there's like that music in the background that you're not really paying attention to, and then the music changes enough so that your attention is drawn for a second. Everybody's kind of like, huh? Hey, all right, woo, yeah, that's a good one. And you got a couple of rounds of applause already. Somebody throws like a copper coin just like across the room in your direction. Too lazy to actually come up and like put it down. They're just like, can like move out of the way as it like hits the back wall. And a couple people are kind of like singing along poorly, but the tune is familiar enough that you get a few, raucous cheers and, a couple people joining along in it. And the mood does pick up a little bit.
Your friend there's really talented.
Oh, another pint of stout wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, another pint of stout. And I'm going to start winking at the barkeep.
Speaking of the barkeep, Torque is just going to be standing at the bar until the server comes.
Okay. Behind the bar is a very large orc woman who, she's got her black hair is kind of, braided behind. She's just wearing like a really thick leather vest. And she just comes over. You can see that one of her tusks is kind of like broken off. It looks like it's got some sort of like black and yellow, like tartar or like whatever on it. And not looking in that great shape. And the other one is like really, really long and pronounced, kind of sticking right up the side of her cheek. And she comes over to you. Hey, what do you have today, daughter?
A glass of water.
You want water? There's
Is
a bar, you know that?
Do you not have water?
Well, I mean, yeah, I can't promise it's fresh. There's probably a barrel of stale water somewhere you want. If that's what you want.
I will take my chances.
All right. One water coming up. And she just like, kind of, as she's walking away, she just kind of looks back at you a couple times, just like, okay.
I just don't move. I'm just still at the bar, just staring straight ahead at the wall.
She brings you a tarnished tankard with water in it, and it does look stale. It's got a little bit of discoloration to it. She just kind of plunks it down and goes, beer's probably safer to drink, but okay.
You just see these big turtle claws just wrap around the tankard, and he lifts it up to his nose and just puts it back down.
Dinar will walk up behind Torque and up to the bar. Excuse me, do you have like a container? Something that's like, a gallon or two in size, empty?
Sorry, you want a big container?
I would like a big container, please.
You want something in it?
No, specifically empty, actually.
Yeah, whatever's in it, you can give to me, though. Set me up here, sunshine.
This one orders still water, and you want an empty container.
That's right, yes.
All right. Don't see that every day. I can probably find like a half keg or something in the back. Just give me a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, deal. As soon as she turns around, Dinar's going to grab the flask or the cup that Torque had. He's just going to dump the water over his shoulder and put it back down on the table. I could get you some real water. One sec.
She comes back with it's literally like a small keg, like a small barrel, like with no handle or anything. She's like, this is the closest I could find. You want to keep it, or you just need to use it?
I just need to use it for now, if that's all right.
Sure. You guys are weird, but here you go.
There we go.
Anybody want a real drink around here? I mean, this is a bar, right? So
Flick is now
Hey-o.
standing on a stool, banging. Wait.
all right, what do you
Well,
want?
as you
Want
might
some-
know, barkeep, the best bards run on fuel.
Right. Well, we got ale and other ale.
Yes, I suppose that will suffice.
All right, ale coming your way.
Come
I just-
rest the barbelies, heaver will.
As we're being served up, Torque just looks over at Donar and just gives him like just a nod.
Yep. Once the container is on the bar, Dinar is going to pull out a little decanter of water and pluck off the top, and he's just going to speak stream into it and dump a gallon of fresh water into the container, and then grab the cup that Torque had and fill it up and plop it down in front of him with some nice fresh water.
Yeah, that's a neat trick there.
This water definitely looks much fresher. There's nothing floating in this one.
Flick is definitely eyeing up that decanter. It's like, all right, this guy's got he's got the goods.
Appreciated.
It only does water, Flick. Just so you know, just
Well,
water.
Can't have everything, but water is the basis of a lot of fine beverages.
That is true, and we
I'm
can
slugging
work
back
out
my-
a deal if that's how it needs to go. We can work out a deal.
Excellent. Yeah, so my job on the ship is not really super defined. I'm relatively new to the crew myself, but I am more or less the ship's purser at this point. So if we need to have supplies like fresh water, you'd be a welcome addition to the crew, I think. We'll have to go run you by Captain Boone, obviously, but you're already making ends with us. I wouldn't call us junior officers, but your crewmates. You're making friends. This is good.
That's good. That's good to know.
You'll sail the world and foreign seas, hoist the old mast down. You'll fight and steal and toss and flee, hoist the old mast down.
This guy's much better than those other two previous things were. Keep going, Bard.
I think we'll buy a round for the band.
The band.
They didn't earn anything. What are you doing?
Yeah, the one halfling with the flute just like walked away, and the one with the drum, he's just kind of like,
Whoever's on stage is getting served. I'm
Okay.
enjoying the show.
as you are in the bar, just kind of enjoying yourselves. Speaking of the captain, the door opens and a black-haired dwarf with dark, kind of like leathery tan skin, big thick black beard, and a really like soggy-looking hat that just kind of like flops down on one side. Walks in. And you hear quite a few patrons. Hey, Captain Boone, good to see you. And Captain's like, all right, yeah, it's good to see all of you.
I enlisted on a vessel with a captain, oh so me. Captain.
Hey, that's some fine playing there, Taylor. You keep going there. Just keep them entertained. That's great. Where's the rest of the crew there? Flick, Torque. Hey, there they are at the bar. You guys got a minute? We actually are going to be in Port Long. We got a job that I just found out about. Hey, who's this fella here? And so, Dinar, you see this dwarf just kind of walk right up to you. Doesn't seem to be phased by your scales like most people. Doesn't seem to be phased by much. Just kind of walks right up to you. Sees that you're kind of hanging out with two of his crew, and just like does like spits on his hand, rubs it, holds it out. Captain Boone, nice to meet you. Who might you be? actually reaching up because you're quite tall.
Yeah, 6'7". Dinar will kind of give a little spit into his paw as well and reach down. Yeah, Dinar Neurixius. Flick here was telling me you guys might be looking for some more crewmates, so I'm looking for a way off this island.
Well, you know, the Intrepid Devil's always looking to take people on. Name's Connor Boone, and, well, I'm not too choosy when it comes to crew. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't expect my crew to do their job on the ship, mind you, but if you're willing to put the work in and willing to mostly kind of hire people on to guard the merchandise, as it were, and kind of keep our cargo safe as we traverse the seas, is that something you think you might be up for?
Guard duty for sure. What, well, if you don't mind my asking, what kind of merchandise might we be moving?
Well, I can't really talk about that right now. I was just coming to let my crew know that I'm going to need them back in the ship in a couple of hours, and then I can go over the details. But you're welcome to come along. Now, this is going to be a bit of a dangerous mission. I hope that doesn't scare you none.
Danger doesn't scare me.
Well,
all right, ways of dealing with danger.
Then the Intrepid Devil's the right ship for you. So you come along with these other fine gentlemen here to the boat, and I'll fill you in on the details once you get aboard. You guys tell Talon when he gets a breath in between those songs, don't let him go on for too long, mind you, all right? Because, you know, he'll just keep going and going, and I'm sure you've noticed that by now, that he just kind of sings all the time. But if you get a moment to kind of stop him, then you come and find us in a couple hours, come return to the ship. Do anything you need to. If you need to stock up on anything in town before then, go ahead and do that, because we're going to have to set sail probably by this evening, actually. So we want to get going soon. All right. Flick, I'm looking at you. You make sure you get these guys in line and get them back to the ship, right?
Not a concern, Captain. I'll round up these scalawags one way or another. Isn't that right, you sea dogs? I sort of shout out to the bar because I'm sure there's other crewmen in here as well.
I like this goblin. All right, I'll see you guys a little bit then. You can't, Dinar, you can't miss the Intrepid Devil. It's the best looking ship in the dock. But these guys will lead the way for you, don't you?
Plus, it's the one I'm going to point you to when we're done at the bar, so it'll be real easy to find.
That'll certainly make it simple.
I mean,
yes.
That'll work too. All right, I got a couple things to take care of, and he just kind of like tucks on his vest a little bit, and I got a few people to visit in town before we go, so gotta go take care of my business. I'll see you later.
A sailor's life filled with toil and strife, the seas both boon and bane, oh, where he's told bound on a northern tide through the lightning and the rain.
So Devin will continue to sing sea shanties, and if you want him to sing more sea shanties, then feel free to subscribe. For every new subscription.
Conversely, if you want me to stop,
by our silence.
we could put it that way too. No, but I'll be honest. I don't think I know one sea shanty.
You know, Drunken Sailor.
Like you not even played Assassin's Creed.
Well, I mean, I have, but it doesn't mean I've memorized the sea shanties. I was busy taking care of other things, but
that's right. That now, really.
I think Devin knows more than enough sea shanties. I can't even say that properly. Sea shanties.
Seashells by the seashore. The shell, she says, are seashells, I'm sure.
It's interesting business decision to sell things at the shore that people can pick up. Anyways, yeah, we've got lots of sea shanties courtesy of Devin, so I hope you like sea shanties.
While this is going on, Torque is just going to quietly finish his water, put the tankard back on the counter, and then just make his way to the exit.
Awesome.
See you later, little guy. Back on the ship, right? He loves it when I call him little guy.
Yes,
as an aside to Dinar. He's a good egg. Don't worry about him.
He certainly seemed to appreciate that, yes. He doesn't talk much, does he?
Yeah, so when he does, you listen.
Good to know.
And word of advice, don't get on his bad side.
Okay.
He'll split you in two. Don't worry.
Yes, he's quite intimidating.
Yeah, that in a bit. Anyway, let's get as much ale into us as possible before we got to get back on board and see certain death on the seas, right?
Death, he laughs in the sails, and the jags and the bloody sun won't rise. Oh,
Certain death would be a short campaign, but anyway. Not certain death, just possible or likely death.
Just minor dismemberment.
do not fear when death is near, when doom is nigh at hand. Your end marks the beginning of a life in fairer lands.
See, I told you, like, just he's Devin. You're with sea shanties, the guy with puns, man. It's just like somebody says like a word, and you're like, I know a shanty for that. I'm gonna drop a sea shanty. That's amazing. I love it.
See how long I can keep that going for.
He's the Wayne. He's the Wayne Brady of the Maritimes.
That's right. We cut to like Devin in between sessions, and he's just like furiously like researching like sea shanties. Like, I need to find some obscure ones that I haven't used yet. Going to like antique bookstores and like finding like books of sea shanties. Okay, flip through that one.
Or learning to sail. You know, that's
That's step 2.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Anything you gentlemen would like to take care of in town? We got a couple of hours.
So in retrospect, did the captain seem nervous about this job, or it seemed pretty run of the mill?
Give me an insight check if you would.
I am trained in insight, apparently. I'm not
You're
good at it.
always watching.
All right, here we go. Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad.
Doesn't seem overly nervous. From what you've learned of Captain Boone, he nothing tends to phase him too much. But there was perhaps a little bit of we'll call it uneasiness, but just a little bit.
All right.
Yeah.
Was that more about the job or about the people he was going to go meet?
He did mention that it was a dangerous mission to Dinar, so you get the feeling that it might be something to do with the job itself. That's yeah.
And yes, in his few weeks aboard the Intrepid, Devil Flick has sort of inserted himself and made him deputized himself as the purser. He sort of keeps the books and keeps track of what's on board the ship. So if there's cargo being had, he'll head back a little early to like inventory the new stuff as much as he can. Like even if it's just big crates versus little crates, there's stuff in the hold now that I'm not allowed to look at. That'll be noted somewhere.
And I would say that the captain, even like as opposed to taking offense to that, was appreciative because nobody else really seems to want to take inventory or really has a head for that kind of thing. So
yep.
Having somebody who's actually naturally interested or able to do it, he's kind of like, oh, that's good. I'll make use of that for sure. All right. Anything you guys want to do in town?
Yeah, other than get drunk but not too drunk and then head back to the ship
So you said in a couple hours, right?
Yeah, I said you had a few hours. So yeah, because it was like mid-afternoon when we got here, and he had said he wanted to leave in the evening. So he gave it a couple.
What are Captain Boone's rules on drinking on the ship? Obviously, grog is a thing, but I'm talking like heavier stuff.
I mean, you've been on the ship the longest. You've probably been drunk on ship a few times. When you're on duty, though, he does expect a certain level of sobriety.
Fair enough. But like bringing your own stuff.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I want to make sure I have at least a bottle of wine purchased at some point before we head out.
Certainly.
The good stuff.
Okay.
Who knows how long it's going to be before I get to have any of them. Kind friends and companions, come join me in rhyme. Come and lift up your voices in chorus with mine.
So for a bottle of wine, you're looking for like a good, like fine bottle of wine.
Ideally, that'd be nice. Yes.
So that would run you
probably something imported.
That would run you 10 gold.
Yeah, that's all my money.
The good stuff. Yeah.
How much were the ales, just out of curiosity?
The ales were like 4 copper, like nothing. Yeah.
Sweet.
But I spent all me money.
It's like your
on
basic
whiskey
ale,
and
nothing
beer.
special.
That's fine.
If anyone was wondering why I got a water, that was why. Torque
money.
has no money.
You're broke? Oh, dude.
Took the hermit background, man.
Mm.
Not much chance to make money when you're marooned on an island by yourself, right? Unless it's like a video game RPG when you kill fish and somehow you get gold at the end of the encounter. You're like, okay, how did I get money from killing these fish?
Torque opened a bank account right before he got marooned, and so 10
Final
years
Fantasy.
of interest is
Killing random monsters in like Final Fantasy and you end up with gold. You're like, all right, don't complain.
Is
All right.
a health to the company.
Does Dinar need to purchase anything?
No, Dinar would have. I think been in town, been there before the crew, so
Yep.
component pouch is full up and doesn't have exactly enough gold to purchase a health potion. So he's just anxious to get on the ship.
Okay. Excellent.
He will be sober,
at anchor.
not drinking
She's
anything, just kind of
ready
watching this
to
new
go.
group of companions.
All right. Perfect. I will take this moment to just let everyone know that. So we have a couple of new sub races that are being played here. So Mike's character Dinar is a different kind of dragonborn. He's radiant dragonborn, hence his gleaming scales. So there's something a little bit different there. And Flick is also a bit of a variation on a goblin with some different skills. So just a couple of homebrew things going on there in case you're wondering when some certain skills and things come up and you're like, wait, I don't remember that from the source material. It's because it's not there. We made it up, so that's all good.
Yep. Flick's a local boy. It's all good.
It's all good. All right. So as you make your way to the ship, now, Dinar, when Captain Boone said that the Intrepid Devil was the finest ship in port, you immediately see the facetiousness of that. You see that he was definitely making a mockery of his own ship, as the Intrepid Devil definitely looks like it's been around. It's had more than its fair share of crashes and encounters. It's got barnacles up the side. You can see marks, like you can actually see like tooth and claw marks on parts of the side. You can see like there's different wood in certain parts where like the repairs have been done with like wood that doesn't even necessarily match. It's a sturdy enough looking ship, but it's not very pretty. It's definitely the ship kind of matches the crew. It's a very eclectic.
Whoa.
By that I mean it's a very eclectic crew, and the ship itself is like eclectic, like combination of parts that have been like put towards repairs, and the captain doesn't really seem to be too concerned with the look of the ship as opposed to the actual functionality of it.
I mean, Torque is also scratched up and covered in barnacles, so more accurate than you would think.
There we go. So he fits the crew perfectly.
Nothing
But
at
it
all
is
that's wrong with the
but it
ship.
is a
The ship
solid enough
is
looking
just fine.
ship. And as you come on board, the captain is waiting for you in essentially what serves as the galley, and also sort of like a makeshift meeting room, and he kind of brings you in. All right, so Donar, you decided that you're going to come aboard. Then that's that's good. I think we're going to need you. So here's the thing, lads. Now I'm telling you this. I've told the crew a little bit, but they kind of get skittish in some ways. But you lot, your job is mainly to kind of keep the cargo safe. Do most of the fighting if if we encounter pirates or things coming out of the sea at us. That's kind of what I got you lot for. So I want to make sure that I'm on the level with you on this and that you understand what it is that's coming our way. We have a shipment of iron that we need to take to the Ivory Spire, and we need to do this post haste, as it were. We need to do this right away. All right. Now, normally I'd sail around the Sea of Souls. How much do y'all know about the Sea of Souls? What have you heard?
I probably know some stuff.
You probably do.
Should I make a check on that, or?
Yeah, give me a. I'd say anybody who wants to give me a history check.
Right.
You can even give me a religion check would work in here as well.
Yeah.
I will do religion then.
I'm gonna go
Uncle
history.
Scab did not have any stories about the Sea of Souls, apparently.
Also, Ian, I appreciate the reference.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to do that, but
Dinar rolled a
Let's fill the
1,
port.
so he knows nothing apparently.
Okay.
Book
Yeah,
discoveries of the stars.
kind of new to this part of the region. Well, Talon, you would be familiar enough, having spent a lot of time in Galadrin and kind of on the
Reading
area
lots.
around the Sea of Souls. It earns its name in that it's known to be a very dangerous sea. There's a reason why Captain Boone and most ships sail around. And he lays out on the table, he's actually got a chart, which I've got up for you guys here, that's kind of got sort of the common sailing routes between ports in this area. And you can see immediately that none of them go through the center, which is the Sea of Souls. They all kind of skirt around it. And the Sea of Souls is reported to be haunted. In fact, it is known to be haunted. It's known to be home to all manner of undead. There are tales of ghost ships. There are tales of things under the sea coming up and swallowing ships whole. There are tales of strange weather phenomenon, all sorts of things that can assail a ship on the Sea of Souls. And so it's kind of spoken in hushed terms, Oh, can you guys not see? There's anything?
No,
on
it's
there?
all black. I was waiting for you to finish.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just.
I thought that was intentional.
That's why I didn't say
no.
anything either. Yeah.
Not supposed to be anything on there. Can you guys
There
see?
we
it?
go.
See
There
now?
it is.
Can you
Yep.
see it now?
Yep.
I can, yeah.
Okay, there we go. No,
There
it
we
wasn't.
are.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
the
my
Sea of
bad.
Souls. I think I know a song about the Sea of Souls.
Way ho? What?
Whoever
Way-ho.
wrote it is a master of lyrics.
I know, right? And that tune. I mean, that tune's pretty-
Yeah.
whoever wrote that. So yeah, it's definitely earned its reputation, and I'd say for you especially, Talon, just a mention of it, you're kind of like. Now here's the thing, gents. This is a rush order, so we need to head to the Ivory Spire. Now there's a port there. Talon and Fleck, you had on your kind of journey from Easthold down to Porto de Arias and kind of around. You already stopped at this port. It's like it literally is just like a dock on the Isle of Morn, and then there's a long road leading up to the Ivory Spire, which is essentially it's like an arcane academy. And it's like set way inland. You can actually see it from the sea. This huge spire just like going way up in the sky, and the port is just this dock sticking out. And he kind of points it on the map and says, "This is where we need to go." Now, normally I'd probably sail through the mouth of Desfuna up around near Tyr and kind of make our way back down, but we need to go straight there. How you feel about that?
Probably not too much ship traffic in the Sea of Souls.
No. Probably not going to meet any pirates.
I was hoping we'd be heading north around it.
I know, but they're paying us well for this one, paying us double actually what the normal rate would be for delivering this cargo. So, it's well worth the price. But
You can see Flick is already doing the math of what his cut of double is going to be. I'm in, Captain.
Now, Dinar, how do you feel about the ex-living, as it were?
the living impaired.
Well, I've fought them before. They're
yeah,
nasty and all, but they're
Have you
manageable.
really? You must tell me that story.
Well, I kind of served with the Gungrim dwarves for a short while.
Ah, so you're not a stranger to life at sea, then. That's good to know.
No, not a stranger. I don't know a lot of the Sea of Souls, but this seems a little hasty.
So you're a sailor then?
Yes.
A professional one?
Well, didn't really get paid. I was closer to a military service than anything else.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I think we're going to be very lucky to have you along on this ship.
Well, we'll see.
Agree. What might your skill set be? I know what these others here are capable of doing, but yourself, what is it? I mean, you got some seafaring experience, which is good, but what else do you actually bring to the crew, if I might ask you?
You can make fresh water, I hear.
I can make...
That is a good thing, since, we're surrounded by salt water, which you can't really drink, so fresh water is...
Yeah, I mean,
I can make
I can do that too.
A lot of fresh water.
I know, but yeah. What if you get...
My skill set kind of lies in the arcane.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm happy to have you aboard. Then most definitely we could use. Taylor here's got some of them skills too. Actually, and our little goblin friend here too. Well, got some interesting abilities, but it's always good to have some spellcasters on board. We can use that, especially when we might be up against some harder to physically hit type of things. I don't know if you ever tried to stab a ghost, but they don't work so well. So
no, I've never stabbed a ghost. I've heard about somebody shooting a sword.
Oh,
but,
they're not particularly vulnerable to lead either.
Well, I
heard
found
that tale about the sword, actually.
Yeah, I found
that
the arcane
feels like
useful.
a reference to something I have no context for.
Yeah, an old child's tale I used to hear back home.
I apologize for the inside joke. All right, now here's the thing. So normally it would take us about a week and a half or so, just over a week and a half if we're going to go around the long way. But they want us fast. And so if we had as straight as an arrow can go right across the Sea of Souls, it's going to take us about 8 days or so. And I'm telling you, the pay is going to be real good on this one. So I got to risk it. I mean, it's how I kind of make my trade. I got a reputation by taking on those jobs that others don't want to take. But
and you say the cargo is iron?
Iron, yeah, a whole shipment of iron. They want for some sort of rituals or something. I don't know. Them spellcasters there.
Who needs iron fast? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But
blacksmiths.
Hey, it's something to do with alchemy or some sort of experimentation, I think. But they said it's an emergency.
Emergency alchemy. Hey, whatever, man. If they're gonna pay double.
You know that Ivory Spire, they got a reputation for dabbling in some pretty strange things. I've sailed along the coast more than a few times and seen some strange colored clouds of smoke coming out of that building that ain't natural. So I mean, who knows what's going on inside those walls? They do all kinds of things in there. You got druids in there, and you got wizards in there, and you got alchemists and all kinds of stuff going on in there. So Uh, I don't ask questions. That's sort of part of my reputation too. That
Yeah, that's why I'm still alive, because I don't ask a lot of questions. So I understand.
Hey, that's a smart way to do business. So they say they want iron, they want it fast, and they're going to pay double. I'm a man. I'm going to do it. So,
all right, we're going to be legends if we pull this off.
Well,
instead of fighting for our
we'll be alive, that's for sure.
But I chose
What do you think,
the
Torque?
life of a sailor, strife and the ocean.
I will say a prayer to Deshuna to allow safe passage.
I'd appreciate that.
Now we're covered. We're perfectly fine. Let's do it. Setting out at high tides at this evening. Is that the plan then?
Yeah, we're gonna set out at evening. Now most ships don't set out in the nighttime. I mean that's
Sorry, we're going into the Sea of Souls at night.
Well, by the time we actually get into the sea proper, it's going to be morning time. But I mean, here's the thing: it's an 8-day journey. We're going to be there at night, regardless. That's just unavoidable. I mean, we can't just sail during the daytime. I mean, we're going to be in the water at nighttime, anyways. We can't just. There's nowhere to make port. It's a straight trek right across. No stops on the way. Just. I know it's dangerous. I understand. That's why I'm bringing it to you guys before this, so that we're on the level. You understand what we're getting into. I'm not about to drop a surprise on you as we get up in the scene. Be like, oh, by the way, we're sailing into some haunted waters. I want you to know. So, yep, that's the straight of it.
So, Craig, out of character, like, what is the current armament on the Intrepid Devil?
That was
Does
going to
it
be my
have
next question.
weapons?
It most certainly does. The Intrepid Devil, it does have a couple of ballistas. It has 2 cannons on either side, so it's got 4 standard cannons. It has some swivel guns on the deck as well. So it does have a pretty decent armament.
Fair. All right, good to know.
Yep.
Well, I chose the life of a sailor, strife in the ocean. She chose me.
That's a yes, Taylor.
I suppose.
All right. Well, anything you need to do? We're going to set sail in probably the next hour or so. So we're just getting the ship ready. Make your peace and whatnot, whatever. And
I'll head below decks and secure the cargo, Captain Sir.
Now, before you guys exit this room, just come and lean in real close here. Your pay for this. Now, I don't want to share this with all the crew because, the regular crew they're going to get the regular wages. They'll get a bit of bonus on this as well. But if all goes right and we make this delivery and we make it on time, we're talking in the triple digits of gold here for each of you. You understand?
Hot damn. That's where my math was at, Captain. And
this would be an auspicious boon. I
don't know what auspicious means, but boon, I understand. Happens to be my name and all. So yes, sir, it will be a boon.
I currently have 5 gold pieces to my name.
Well, that's 5 more than some folk have, so count yourself blessed then, I guess.
Spent the last amount of money I had on a bottle of wine.
Ooh, the good stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Hang on to that one. I might, if you're so inclined, I might want to share with you on, you understand what I'm saying?
I think I do.
Excellent. Well, gents, we'll be setting sail when we're all ready then. So keep the cargo safe, do your job. Dinar, looking forward to see what you got, what your capabilities are, and if you prove yourself to be mighty worthy, then you'll of course have a place in my crew.
Thanks for the opportunity, Captain.
Call me Boone, or Connor, or Captain. You know what? It don't really matter.
Captain works well.
We're pretty relaxed around here when it comes to, do your job, of course, and understand the chain of command, but names and titles, man, they don't matter so much as reputation does, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. Roger that.
All right, then. I'm gonna go make sure the rest of these scalawags understand that they got to make haste on their crew duties, and then we'll get going. So we'll get to it then. And yeah, it takes his map and kind of rolls it up and takes leave out of the room, leaving the four of you.
Torque is going to step out onto the deck of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
He always feels kind of claustrophobic before deck.
What is going on with my microphone? There we go.
And true to his word, he's going to go out to sort of the front of the deck near the prow, I think it's called. He's going to sort of unsheath his weapon from where it's strapped to his back. This rusty ship's anchor, crusted with barnacles, much like a shell. And like a knight presenting himself to his king, he's going to put, both hands on top of the anchor, take a knee, hang his head, and anyone staying nearby will hear him muttering a prayer to Desfuna.
Okay. Excellent.
Dinar's made the most acquaintance with Flick, so he's probably just going to shadow Flick for a little while.
Yeah, Dinar, I'll show you where crew quarters are, and this is the galley. Obviously, this is where we have Chow. The deck is up there, and yeah, I'll show him around the ship. Give him the grand tour.
Perfect. So it is a pretty decent sailing ship. It's got a couple layers underneath the deck. There's a rather large, spacious hold on the very bottom of the ship, which is currently filled with numerous crates of iron. This is a large shipment. Several tons of iron.
And it's actual iron? It's not iron as in swords and weapons?
All right, would you like to try and make an inspection?
Dinar is curious because iron is very ambiguous. So let's see. What am I rolling here?
Okay.
Am I rolling?
So what exactly are your intentions? Like they're all sealed crates.
Oh. Okay.
So like these are like full sealed crates, all stacked.
And you see Flick is down here, so he's sort of taking inventory, and he's not opening anything, but he's sort of noting the number of crates, size of crates, and he's documenting everything as best he can.
How big is this area? Like of iron? Is it like 10 feet, 20 feet wide?
It's close to 20 feet wide. Like the ship is 20 feet wide, so as you get kind of closer to to the bottom of the ship, you're probably getting closer to like 15 feet or so wide. And the hold itself, the main hold, is probably about like 60 to 70 feet long. And most of this is stacked with crates. Now there's no crates stacked on top of each other.
Okay.
They're just very large crates filling up most of the space, and presumably they are all filled with iron.
Out of curiosity, are we running fairly low in the water now because we're loaded down with like tons of iron?
There is no other. There doesn't seem to be much else in the way of cargo at the moment. The ship is capable. It's got the mid deck, which has space for cargo, and then the full cargo hold at the bottom. And the mid deck is currently pretty light. So
okay,
yeah, you're not running too low.
But we look like we're late, and it looks appropriate.
Yep. The ship is it is a cargo ship. It's kind of built to handle a decent amount of cargo. So this is exactly what it's meant for.
So, Flick, what do you think's in these boxes?
Well, here's the thing. Captain says it's iron. It's probably iron. He's a pretty straight shooter, that Captain Boone, I gotta tell you. Why, you got an itchy finger? You curious?
Well, I mean...
yeah, you're curious.
Expedited shipment of iron across the Sea of Souls makes me wonder if this is really just iron ore or if it is something else. Iron.
Well, how well put together are these crates?
They're pretty solid crates. You can make an investigation check if you'd like to take a more detailed look at them.
I'll take a little look. I'm not great at investigation, but
I'll help him if that's possible.
Sure, you can have advantage on that then.
Perfect. Then I'll roll again. Hey, that's better.
Hey,
I'll take the 18, not the 4.
These are very well crafted crates. This is not some sort of shoddy shipment. This is like a proper supplier, like a good smithy, probably a decent sized business has put these together and wants to make sure that it's secure. So
are they marked at all by a supplier? Like, is there a trademark on them anywhere or anything?
You do not see any markings on the crates at all.
Do I feel like I can get the lid of one off and then re-secure it and have it look okay? How confident am I? Whether that's stealth or sleight of hand, whatever I need to do to pull this off.
It would be, I would say to hide the opening job would probably be sleight of hand. To actually get the lid off, we'd be talking probably strength here, kind of like using a crowbar to get in there, because there's quite a few nails that have been knocked down into it.
I could direct someone else to do this, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
This is not
pretty tightly secured. It's like official shipment, right? They're not meant to be tampered with.
Well, hey, Big D, here's the thing. You know a lot about magic and stuff, apparently.
I do.
What do you think 6 tons of iron is good for?
Well, if you could give me 10 minutes, I could check and see if there's anything magical inside these
We
boxes.
are not setting sail for another 45 minutes, so take your time, kid.
Well then, Dinar will kind of fluff back his coat, revealing his leather strap that acts as his spell book. He's going to kind of wrap it up in his big dragon arm, kind of sifting through the spells on it, and then he will slowly start ritual casting Detect Magic.
Okay. Give you everybody a good look at the scarf around him there. It's art brought to you by the one who's playing Dinar at the moment. Very masterfully done. Your spell comes to life, and other than your own magical vestments, looking around the room, the space, none of the crates, nothing pings at all. There doesn't seem to be any magical properties that you're able to detect at all.
Well, that's disappointing. There doesn't appear to be anything magical in these boxes.
Well, sometimes the magic comes later. Maybe the magic is the friends we make along the way. Who knows?
Aww. You can give me an Arcana check if you'd like.
I certainly can.
I will assist him with my vast arcane knowledge. I know nothing about Arcana. I can't probably assist.
That's a 16 plus. Ooh, 16 plus 5. 21.
Yeah, you don't need
21. Okay. Without knowing the specifics of, what the ritual or spell might be, you do know that iron is often a component in various types of rituals, kind of across the arcane spectrum. So a shipment going to pretty much the central, or one of the 2 central arcane academies in the Broken Isles, it's likely they're probably using it for either multiple rituals, or perhaps one very large, very significant ritual that would require a lot of one particular type of component.
Would the components be like something that is spent in that kind of a ritual casting, or would it be in some kind of construction, or do I have that kind of knowledge?
It'd probably be something that would be something along the lines that would be consumed as part of a ritual or incantation of the like, something that would be used up. You're familiar enough with gems and using components themselves, understanding that the components themselves often get sort of like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Consumed?
Yeah. by the ritual. They give to the ritual and become the essence that is necessary for the ritual to take place. So,
well, a disturbing
it's not unheard of for iron to be part of it. Yeah,
right.
It's an awful lot of iron, though.
It is. And if it's all for one, well, I mean, I suppose we don't know what it's being used for, but if this was for one ritual,
maybe they need to build a big iron house to have the ritual in. Who knows? And we got to get it done by this full moon and the conjunction of the whatevers, and then who knows? All I know is that we're going to be filthy rich by the end of this if we can get this job done. So,
I suppose we can keep our eye on that prize for now.
Yep. Focus on what we know and not worry too much about everything else. That's something else I learned from Uncle Scab.
You're insightful.
He was a wise old goblin, that guy.
All right, Tayland, what are you doing while the rest of this is going on?
I assume the crew is not. The crew knows we're going through the Sea of Souls, and I'm assuming that they're not too happy about it.
There's definitely trepidation. The captain hasn't told them all the details about the cargo and all that. He's kind of given that to you guys because your job is to protect it. But the information, obviously, that they're sending course through the Sea of Souls, there's a general nervousness for sure. It's not something that most crew would be keen on doing.
Which is fair, I think. I'd like to attempt to rouse their morale a little bit.
Okay.
Our ship lies at anchor. She's ready to dock. I wish her safe landing without any shock.
So what exactly, you're just trying to do like a performance here?
Just like,
persuasion?
like a performance to try and rouse the crew a bit, make them feel a little more confident about the journey. Because bad crews lead to mutinies, and we don't want none of that on the middle of the Sea of Souls.
No, you don't. Okay, go ahead and I'd say you can give me a performance or persuasion. I'll let you.
I'll take performance because I'm better at that.
Because it does have a persuasive element to it. So
I understand, but my performance is better. Absolutely.
So I'm giving you a choice.
11.
Okay. They're not really paying too much attention. You can get a few kind of like appreciate the gesture. It's kind of like, hey, great, okay. They seem to be kind of consuming themselves in their work, preoccupying themselves with, making sure everything's tied down what needs to be.
Maybe I shouldn't have gone with an ocean ballad.
Checking over the rigging and everything, making sure that everything's kind of, in shape. They seem to be maybe perhaps too preoccupied to really notice and to get the benefit of your performance.
Okay, fair enough.
So it might have helped, but I'll say it's hard to say, hard for you to tell, to gauge based on their reactions to what extent it actually has boosted the morale at all. All right.
There's a health too, but son, guys.
Cheer up, come on. This can't be that bad. As the ship prepares to set sail, there is a ding 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 ding. The kind of bell on the main mast is rung, signaling that the ship is preparing to leave port. And as the lead lines are brought back into the ship from the dock, the gangplank is moved back, and you can see as the ship is leaving, there's quite a few stairs from the dock itself, from the port. It's not entirely unusual for a ship to set sail in the evening, but it's not common. And this ship having the reputation that it does as taking on dangerous journeys, things like that, there's more than a few people who are just kind of watching. A lot of dockhands are just kind of like, you can see them kind of muttering to each other and, possibly making guesses like what everything's about. But there's a lot of attention as the Intrepid Devil heads out of port and begins to make way, noticeably neither north or south along the coast, but just kind of starts to head directly out into the open water. And there's kind of like an eerie calm. Nobody's really saying much. The crew is quiet as the ship heads out into the water. The first night, as you set sail into the open sea, it's a clear night, which is definitely helps to keep the morale at least kind of where it is and not decreasing too much. But it also has that sense of like unease, that tension, right? You almost kind of want something to happen, but the fact that it is so still and so calm, there's just enough of a breeze, that the sails can get enough to kind of keep the ship moving. No headwind, no tailwind. It's just kind of there. But everybody's just kind of like on edge, and you can feel that kind of palpable tension as the ship sets sail. Can I get any one of you to make a D20 roll? Just a straight D20 for me, please.
I haven't rolled anything yet. I can do that.
Do it.
Do it.
Just a D20, no modifier?
No modifier, just straight D20.
Random encounter.
Just for kicks.
Yeah.
Okay. First
pirate ships. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
The first, I would say day, but the first night, as you set sail, is actually uneventful and rather calm. And as the morning dawns, there's still that kind of tension, like people are kind of waiting, wondering like what's going to happen. We know the tales of the sea, something going to go wrong. But everything seems to be okay. Anything, what are you guys' reactions? What's happening during this first day, first leg of the journey?
I think Torque is just going to be sitting sort of by himself at the very front of the ship.
Okay.
Just kind of sitting crisscross applesauce on the ground, his weapon in his lap, head sort of bowed. I think at some point some seagulls come and start just like nesting on top of his shell, and he doesn't even notice.
I can see that. That's awesome. He's used to being like extremely still so that he can be mistaken for a rock.
I think like at one point, like some deckhands come over and actually do like prod him with like a mop or something just to make sure he's not dead.
Gotcha.
I will be leading the crew in their various work shanties to keep their spirit going and keep them on time with their work so that the ship runs as smoothly as possible.
Okay.
Flick spends as much time as he can up in the rigging just because he's comfortable doing the climbing where a lot of others aren't. So he's up there doing whatever needs to be done up there. Crow's nest potentially, or just setting sails or running lines or whatever needs to be done. So
You're not joining in any of the shantying?
I mean, from a distance for sure.
I left my home to sing of my pain, hoist the old mast down, find my fortune and return again, hoist the old mast. See, it's easy. You just say hoist the old man down after every line. It's really simple.
That is kind of the one thing sea shanties have is if you don't know like the words to like the verse part of it, there's always that like one line where you can
There's
just
a refrain that you can always jump in on.
That's
That's
right.
the idea.
I think
Unless you want to refrain from
From refraining, yes.
Band humor.
now if you
on
sing the
this-
refrain over again, is it re-refraining or no,
Yes, actually.
think that's
I believe that is what it is.
it's a re-refrain?
I think so.
First
I
line is
thought
just
that might be a
refrain.
reprise.
Yes.
Oh yeah, maybe.
A re-refrain reprise. All right. Sorry, Mike.
for the day, Dinar is quite curious about this shipment, so he's gonna spend time there. Not that there's anything else to discover, but the captain has put him on guard duty, so He's gonna kind of play guard dog on the shipment a little bit. Maybe come up, get some fresh air every now and then, but mostly just hang around that.
Okay. You do notice that every now and then, like crew will kind of come down, mostly just kind of inspecting, making sure like nothing's broken loose. Just kind of give you a nod. Everybody understands that what the role of you four is. That you're basically there as mercenaries, for lack of a better term. You're there to they're there to make the crew or make the ship sail, and you're there to make sure that they are safe and the cargo is safe. So they just kind of give you a nod. A few of them do kind of give you that second kind of awkward look, like that kind of odd stare, and then like when they notice that you're looking back at them, like, sorry. Are you doing any investigating though at all, or are you just kind of pondering?
Mostly pondering this first day. He's not gonna go breaking in just yet, but just thinking over it.
Doesn't want to break into the cargo on his first day aboard on your ship?
Not yet. No, maybe second day.
You don't want to steal. You don't want to steal work supplies until you've been there a little while. Is that what we're getting at here? I mean,
exactly. At least until we're close to making land, then maybe.
All right. So as the ship goes into its second day of voyage, let's get another D20 roll.
You rolled so well last time, Jack. Do it again.
All right.
Oh.
It's like golf, right? Lowest one wins. Lowest number wins.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows, right?
Yeah, we don't know what this is.
In second edition, it is.
Yeah, that's right. Sago. Okay. As you get into sort of the latter half of technically the first day, and you set sail the evening, so getting into the second night of the journey, a deep fog does start to set in. And this is known to be a normal occurrence on the Sea of Souls. But it is also known that the fog on the sea can be normal fog, or it can be something else entirely. So now I get to roll. Let's just see what happens.
It's always good when the DM says interesting.
Yeah, that's a bad sign.
Not necessarily.
Is that?
It's an interesting sign.
That is interesting. May you live in interesting times.
Yeah. So as the fog does settle in, Flick will minor illusion a foghorn sound periodically, just to. That's the one.
You're throwing me off, Flick.
Sorry,
Not
man.
my tempo.
I don't want to hit anything, and don't want anything to hit us.
Can you do it in the key of H?
Key of foghorn. Sorry.
Key of foghorn, leghorn. Can I get whoever's up on the deck? Give me a perception check as the
I'm
fog.
on the deck.
I'm up there. Yeah.
Certainly. I'm also trained in perception. On account of my eyes.
Jeez.
Always
I am
involved.
way too busy focusing on keeping time.
Oh,
Whoa! No.
Do a single digits. Yes.
Wow.
Fog
All right.
is as thick as pea soup.
It's not very thick, but I'll say this kind of takes you off guard, as you're not really paying that much attention. But before you know it, looking around the ship, you see that elements of the fog seem to be kind of clinging to different parts of the ship. That there's almost a more substantial nature to it. Looking at one of the masts, you can see kind of fog that's kind of circled around it and kind of trailing off. Here and there along the railings on the side, you can see almost like little puffs of cloud, like little pockets of fog that does seem to be a little thicker and kind of hang on to it. And within the sort of general fog that's around you, there are these little pieces of fog that are kind of like moving a little bit lower, a little bit closer, looking a little bit more dense, and just kind of seem to be like floating along wistfully in the air. And you can see a number of the crew are just kind of all looking around like, oh, what's that? Is that normal for fog to be doing that? I ain't ever seen fog do that before. That's the first time I've seen that. There's a lot of chatter, and then people kind of stopping their jobs momentarily and just kind of looking and watching these strange fog clumps moving along the ship.
That's perfectly normal. It's a special soul sea fog. It's a little sticky, that's all.
Give me a nature check, Flick.
Nature.
Hey, you're telling them this is normal, so.
I'm well rounded. So hey, there we go. 17. 17.
Yeah, this is most definitely not natural.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know that. They don't know that.
So even as you're saying that, for Fleck, you understand, like, no, fog doesn't do this. This is very.
There ain't no such thing as sticky fog. I get that, but these rubes might buy the story. I don't know.
As you continue to sail into the fog, more and more of it seems to be starting to stick to the ship, and just start to coat the ship, and you can feel that dense moisture just kind of like permeating the air around you now.
Is it slowing us down at all, or is it?
It doesn't seem to be slowing you down. It seems to be moving with you. So as opposed to kind of moving through the fog, some of the fog is actually coming along with the ship and is now moving along with the ship and clumping along.
It's like making cotton candy.
Orc is going to move over just to the rail of the ship, and he's gonna reach back and like unsheath the javelin, and then just kind of like stick it into the fog to see how it reacts.
Is there wind?
Okay. There's a little. There's just enough wind to kind of fill the sails to give you like a normal sailing pace, but it's not nothing substantial enough to really.
Okay, I'll let Torque do his thing, and then I want to try something.
Okay. I'm going to move you guys over here.
Ooh.
Battle map never gets hard.
Unnecessarily.
Well, since you guys are doing stuff
on a boat
on the ship,
very small surface area for us to do everything on.
you're on a boat. That's right.
I'm on a boat.
All right. So you guys can move yourselves there. So if you want to kind of move around to where you're saying
I'm just up on the edge
that you are, then you can go ahead and
in the rigging-ish area. So
position yourselves.
Mast.
So there is, I don't know if you can kind of see it there. I tried to make it transparent but also visible. There is sort of the crow's nest on the main mast there.
Yep.
There's like a rough circlish area. So
Oh yeah.
just so you're aware that it's there. But you can see the ballista at the front, and then there's these are the cannons kind of sticking out the side here.
Oh, yeah.
And then we've got the on the back of the ship there are some
And I'm assuming there's just crew everywhere.
the word I just lost for it. There's crew around. I'm not going to put them all on there. And the captain is currently at the helm as well, and he's kind of trying to put on a face of like, all right. I mean, it's different, but I'll keep on sailing straight as can be. Torque, as you take out your javelin and kind of stick it into the fog, some of the fog definitely kind of clings to the javelin, and as you move through, it's like you can see it kind of making trails, and the fog has become thick enough in places where it definitely seems to be having an impact and penetrating it.
Do I feel like a dragging sensation? Like, does it feel like there's like a weight to it, or?
Not necessarily, not significant enough to be noticeable. Like, it's just there. Yeah, it's very like cloud stuff, right? There's not really a lot of weight or mass to it, but you can see the effect that it's having on it.
Does any of the fog permeate the ship? Like, am I in the fog under deck?
No.
Okay.
So it's
I would say you'd be oblivious to this actually.
Yep.
Dinar, you're just in the bottom of the ship being like.
So I would like to,
Great.
just as the mist is kind of permeating around me, start swirling my finger a little bit. And it's windy weather, boys, stormy weather, boys, when the wind blows, and start casting gust.
Okay.
Ooh.
Just to sort of provide a light breeze around the area. See what that does.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Neat. 14.
You do notice that most of the fog or fog around you, a lot of it does kind of get pushed away from the gust. You notice, I'd say, probably a couple of clumps of it that definitely move against the wind. Like they get pushed away, and you can kind of see them like almost kind of like snake-like just move back and around in opposition to the gust that you're creating.
I think I will produce my pistol and then produce my rapier.
Okay. The captain sees you doing that, and it's like, hey, Talon, what do you know?
It's, mist, I don't like it. It's defying physics.
I'll take your word for it, it doesn't sound good. What do you mean?
Goes against the wind.
Oh, yeah, fog ain't supposed to do that. All right, let's sound the warning bell. Just 2 chimes, just everybody be on alert there. No immediate threat, but let's just be on guard. And one of the crew, all right, Captain. Bang, 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 bang. And kind of gives the signal to for everybody. Just they know to kind of be all eyes, alert. Kind of hand at the ready, on swords on their hilt. Just everybody looking around, kind of keeping an eye, trying to peer over the ship, kind of peer through the fog and just kind of see what they can. And again, there's that air of anticipation amidst the crew.
With the ring of the bell, Dinar is going to come up to see what's up.
Okay. And I'd say, as somebody who's served like on a military ship, that you understand that it's a caution bell.
Okay.
You know the meaning of it. And as you come on
Dinar,
ship,
this look familiar to you?
Does it?
no, you've not seen fog like this on the seas that you're used to sailing. It's you've seen thick fog, but you haven't seen fog that clings and fog that seems to be moving on its own, like aside from the wind and against the wind. So it is very unusual.
No, I can't say I've ever come across this before.
Greg, I just want you to appreciate someone in chat made a pun.
Did they?
They said that we seem to be mystified.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
You said this is we're at nighttime here, Craig?
It's in the evening, like towards the evening, yeah, as you get into the second evening.
You seem to know some magic. Can you tell us anything else about this? I managed to determine it goes against the natural current of the wind, as well as magical currents of wind.
Yeah, give me a couple minutes.
We may not have that, but go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna try. Dinar will pull out his leather wrap and start ritual casting Detect Magic again. 10 minutes.
Okay. All right. It's a very anxious 10 minutes where everybody's just gonna watch and like they can hear you muttering spell casting, and there's kind of like eyes on the horizon, but also eyes on you, like, what's he doing? What's going on? As the 10 minutes come to close and your spell activates, you don't get anything magical from the fog. So it is not a magical effect. It's not an arcane effect, but it's not natural either.
Just while that detect magic is up, I'm gonna take a look at my 3 compatriots. Are they wielding anything magical?
What does DC?
The blue hair dye in Aelin's hair. He's got one blue streak down his sandy blonde hair all the way down the ponytail. That's magical.
Ooh, okay.
Flick has this big ass book sticking out of his backpack, and that thing is like freaking beacon of magic book on his back.
Interesting. That may be a problem. All right. How about Torque? Anything magical on him?
Nothing that he would be aware of.
Okay.
Oh, the chat's divulged into nothing but pun.
I can't. If I look, I'm just gonna get sucked into it. So I can't look.
I mean, like the viewer count keeps climbing. I think puns are what the people want.
Hey, puns are what I want. So by all means, keep the puns going. That's great.
This mystery is leaving us all quite foggy, Craig.
Well done. Well done.
Well, gents, I can tell you there's no magic in this fog, but it's certainly not natural.
I could have told you.
Well, I could have told you that.
Well, you asked. So...
I think we've established that, but yep, okay.
Let's not scare the crew, all right?
We're not sure if it's harmful or not. That's the primary thing.
Yeah, that I can't help you with.
Well, hopefully if it is harmful, you can become more used to us.
I certainly can if we need assistance or offense, yes.
Torque,
Yes.
give me a perception check, please.
Here I go.
As you're towards the front of the ship, kind of looking around.
Will it be good or will it be... Whoops. Wrong stat.
Oh, for
Coming.
God's sake.
Oh, take the performance check.
Oh my goodness.
We are blind as a bat.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, it is thick fog.
Yeah.
So
True.
It's now forming on Torque. Is that
A
no.
lot of missed opportunities, as Ulfric put it.
Oh man.
I love it. I love it. Torque, this catches you by surprise as well. You're kind of focused out on the fog, looking around, trying to see what you can see, and so you don't notice that kind of right beside you in your peripheral, the fog seems to be kind of taking shape in a way, and you're suddenly caught off guard and surprised as you look. You turn, and the fog seems to have. You can just make out what appears to be a face, a very hollow-looking face, empty eyes, mouth gaunt, drawn open, just kind of like, not necessarily menacing, but it's just there, and it's like, right, when you turn your head, it's just like, oh, like.
Just him can see that?
Yeah, it's like right beside him.
Okay.
I'm going to take the javelin and just like try to like move it through the face, see if it like disperses.
like wiping snow off a car kind of thing?
Yeah.
There's definitely like you kind of you hit it and there's a moment where it just goes like and just kind of dissipates. And you swear for like the briefest of moments that you almost hear like a whisper on the fog as the face disappears.
Do any of us hear that? This is all Torque right now.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
right in his personal space. Yeah, it's within his COVID bubble. You guys are too far outside of that 6 feet to hear it. Yeah.
Topical humor.
An ill omen. Let us stay the course and be done with this place quickly.
Couldn't
Agree
agree
with
with
the
you more,
total.
little guy. Flick calls from the rigging.
Flick,
Yeah, what up, Tay?
can you... Okay. Can you see an end to this mist from up there?
Give me a sec. He's gonna go right up to the crow's nest and give a look and see if I can see.
Give me a perceptication.
Perceptication.
We have to make as many of those as we can. There we go.
Finally. Something over 10.
You see nothing but fog.
It's pea soup up here, man.
Lovely.
Now, the good news is that as tense as the next few hours are, nothing seems to come of the fog. No physical threat. Nothing. A few of you do see, or think you see, or not sure if you're imagining, but sort of same as Torque, like there's what appears to be a face that's kind of there for a moment and then gone. Mist that seems to be kind of moving in and almost like curious watching, and then kind of dissipates. But nothing else seems to come of the fog. And after about 2 or 3 hours, as you get into the nighttime, it eventually does start to dissipate and break up until you can finally see the moon kind of behind an overcast sky, like just hiding behind the clouds above. But you do break through the fog, and there's like a palpable a big sigh of relief from the entire crew, as if the ship itself was holding its breath and waiting.
Talon's gonna just hang out at there out mist and all the faces and the little details in there.
We got a bit of frozen from you there, Devin.
Yeah,
sorry.
start that sentence again.
Let me close down a few things. Talon's gonna stand at the back of the ship and just gaze out at the mist, clutching his pistol very, very, very tightly.
Okay.
Until the mist is no longer in view, then he'll holster it and get back to work.
All right. Okay. So as we move into the next night and into the next day, the sun rises in a clear sky, and it is a much welcome sight from the tensions of the previous evening in the fog. And so far, a couple of days in, other than a little bit of eeriness from the fog, with nothing else happening, the crew seems to be not at ease, but at least kind of settling into the journey, and more or less kind of going about business as usual. The tension does seem to start to break a little bit. This is a crew that's used to dangerous situations, so it's not entirely unprepared for this. And as things kind of get back to normal a little bit, you can see the captain kind of at ease as well, and seems to be pretty much pleased with how things have gone so far. And he kind of says on the day, he's like, well, if some creepy fog with faces and stuff is the worst of what we're gonna find on this journey, then I mean I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm starting to think maybe the legends of the Souls, the hauntedness to this area, huh?
Well, I mean, we're only a couple of days in. There's gonna be we got a long way to go still, so.
Yeah, I'm not resting yet, but I'm hopeful.
Good. Hope is good. Hope is the kind of thing that we need on this journey. That's just going to get us by. So, all right.
Hey, Crab, you want us to split that wine yet? Because it's almost gone now.
Talon, it's 9 a.m.
I'd see Souls. I don't like this place.
I understand. I'd just make sure you're ready if things go wayward.
Oh,
right?
It's good. It's fine.
Let's get you to your bunk, shall we, son?
No, I don't want to go to sleep. In all my dreams, I drown.
Well, you're drowning yourself while you're awake, too, so what can we do, man?
All right. Let's get. I'm gonna get another d20 roll from you guys. I can make these myself, but it makes it more interesting when you guys do it.
And we can blame ourselves.
That's right. So who wants to take responsibility this time?
Here we go, Jack.
I think Jack's
Sorry,
rolling,
I didn't
yeah.
know if it was just assumed of me.
Yeah.
I got an 11.
Point, you're the man.
That's okay. All right. Third day is uneventful. So we can skip that. Skip through
Good.
that.
Now I don't have to fight drunk.
Now,
We have a drunken fight, but that's different.
as you are getting into the sort of more of the main body of water, the Sea of Souls, you've sailed far away from the shallows now, far away from any remnant of a shipping lane at all. No land nearby. You've definitely moved out into the open water, and even in the light of day, the water here is dark. There is an unnatural darkness to it, like a shadow just covers the water, to the point where even you can see the sun shining overhead, and what you would normally expect, that light glistening on the water, on the surface, kind of playing in the water, seeing that shimmering here and there on the waves. There's none of that. It's as if the light just kind of stops and the water is just covered in shadow and darkness, and to the point where it doesn't even let the light through. Is there anybody that is on deck, on watch?
I think Torque is probably on deck more than he is below deck.
And
Okay.
Vidar is the opposite.
Okay.
Balin does not want to be below deck so long as we are on the Sea of Souls, if I'm being completely honest.
Okay. All right.
That mist comes back, he wants to be there for it.
On the fourth day, so essentially halfway into the journey, it was supposed to be about an 8-day journey. Torque, I'd say, since you're kind of almost like permanently there, right? Like kind of on the deck, keeping an eye on things. You notice that the water almost has like an inky quality to it at this point. That it is darker than water should be. It seems to, it's not only not reflecting the sunlight, but it's almost as if it's shunning the sunlight and is just black and dark and thick. You can't see through it at all. That translucent quality that water has is just not there. It's like you're sailing on a sea of oil.
Torque is going to hold his anchor in both hands, sort of a tight grip around the long section of it, and just sort of close his eyes and sort of just kind of meditate on what sort of omen this might be.
I'm assuming we can all see this because we're literally on it in the ship. We're floating in it.
Yeah, if you're on the deck and you're looking at the water at this point, you would see like ink.
I'm gonna lean over the side of the ship and just move my hand a little bit. For when I'm far away on the briny ocean tossed, and shape water to try to remove the opacity if I can.
Okay. Give me a perception check while you do that.
Can do. I'm either about to get stabbed or succeed. 20!
Hey.
You, for the briefest of moments, the ship is moving through water, and so you're targeting it's like 5. It's like
Yeah,
5
5 foot cube,
right?
yeah, which is a lot of water.
It is a lot of water, yeah. But as you're kind of moving, the ship is moving, right? So you target the spot,
Sure, yeah.
and for a moment you kind of swirl the water there, right, and kind of try to move it. And as that inkiness clears for just a moment, in the water, you just see a face just looking up at you, and then another one, and another one, and another one, and then they just disappear as the inkiness kind of covers back over it.
Under the water?
Under the water.
And these were faces of human type face, dead looking faces, angry looking faces.
Think of the Mirror of Dead Men, Lord of the Rings.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. Okay.
There are faces, dead things in the water.
in the water.
That's
Yeah.
exactly yeah.
Okay.
You just, and then like the ink, the water kind of covers over it again, and it's black. But there were definitely things looking up at you.
There's corpses in the water.
I like it better dark. From
We
up in the
don't
re-
hear the ship. We don't hear any like weird noises, things bashing against the sides of the ship, right?
I'd say with your perception, no.
That would be all kinds of nope.
Okay,
Nope.
so if we're running through actual bodies,
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be all kinds of
Oh,
nope.
yes.
No. With your perception, it seems to be more of an ethereal quality to it as
Got it.
opposed to an actual.
So I
physical
will not start shooting them.
presence. Yeah.
it's the Sea of Souls, not the Sea of Corpses, thankfully.
I didn't. I wasn't about to put that into my world that I created. That's just a little too dark.
A little bit.
Also, not as when you sing that, it just doesn't.
Harder to
Roll off the
rhyme.
tongue.
That's
Yeah, it's hard to make that sound adventurous and jovial.
Yeah. That's just like let's not go there.
Similar question from the crow's nest. Can I see an end to the dark zone, or is it just as far as I can see?
As far as you can see, yeah, stretching out, port starboard on the horizon on either end of the ship, you can just see that dark, inky quality to the water just stretching out.
I'm strangely comfortable with this now.
Personally, I'd rather see anything that was about to come get us rather than not be able to see them, but I can certainly appreciate it.
It's a bit spooky, is all I'm saying. Maybe it earned its reputation after all.
Well, there's a reason that we usually go around.
Oh, there's so much I could do for experiment purposes, but I probably shouldn't do it.
Depth charge.
Is that every caster ever?
Yeah, it's true. I'm like, I
No,
could try freezing it. I could try scooping some up and destroying it. It's like,
I'm getting strong Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park right now.
Mm.
So much time thinking whether or not they could. They didn't stop to think whether or not they should.
yeah, I don't think I should.
Oh, the Goldblum. Love it.
Life finds a way.
All right. Other than the dark inkiness to the water and those faces that you momentarily see beneath, nothing seems to assail the ship at all. The ship continues to sail through, and it almost adds to the eeriness the fact that the sea seems to be aware of your presence, with the combination of the fog, the water itself, but doesn't seem to be doing anything. And again, there's that anticipation from the crew, like almost kind of like, would something just happen already so that we can just like get over it? But the fact that it's just like there, that constant presence, that constant awareness, to the point now where like even like your hackles are raised, that the hair on your arms is kind of standing. There's definitely that eeriness, that oddity to just your natural surroundings, and everybody's just kind of like, why is the water so black? Why? This just ain't right, this just ain't right.
Oh, not to worry, my fellow compatriots. You don't know a storm till you ride cold and you're sailing through a thunderhead with a lightning in your eye.
Devin, I think your made up
Death, he laughs
storm there
at the
was
sails
interfering
of the
with your internet connection.
You were mid-sentence, and
Yeah,
then when you came back, you were
most
suddenly
likely.
mid-song.
You're conjuring internet connection disruption via
I
fantasy
am
storms.
going to kill the. I'm going to kill the stream on my other screen here. I think that's interfering with it.
Usually, yeah, that'll do that.
I'm just trying to get the crew back up and running.
Dinar, down in the hold by your lonesome. What's going on?
I think as the days have gone on, Dinar's gotten more curious. Is there perhaps a box that would be slightly easier to pry at?
Give me an investigation check.
All right, I can do that. Let's see, investigation. I'm not terrible at it. And that's cocked. Ah! 7 plus 3. 10.
10. They all look pretty secure. It's basically picking an identical crate out of a couple dozen.
Oh,
We lost Devin.
we've lost Devin, and now our stream is all messed up.
Oh no!
Everything is weird. I'm just gonna kill the Zoom for a sec.
Yeah, we're gonna pause for a second here. Let's,
Stream is haunted. Good time to grab a glass of
Do
water.
we want to take a break here?
Let's do that. Yeah,
Okay.
let's just take a break. We'll get Devin back.
Okay, back in 5, back in 10. What's the
Stay back
plan?
in 5.
Sure. Yeah.
So hang with us, folks. We'll be back in 5 here as we get this sorted out again.
Oh yeah, sure. And now everybody's in the wrong places.
That's all right.
I do apologize for that. I don't know what happened.
That's all good.
My entire internet just conked out for like 10 seconds or something.
Okay, we're doing a quick break, a 5. So
All right, there we go.
Okie doke.
Everything is back.
I just popped out the chat and I'm just having that now, so I don't have the actual video streaming in the background, which is probably overloading my internet a little.
All right, we're back. Thanks for sticking tight there. Just turned out to be a good time. We had a little bit of technical difficulty and good time for a break anyway. So
Everyone email Rogers and complain that they suck.
well, they know they suck and they don't care.
I know
so
they do.
That's not
And
good.
suddenly, Devin's line goes down.
You just get like on his screen, just like, no, you suck, Rogers. Like, oh man, at least they're watching. That would mean that they're watching, they're paying attention. So.
Viewers are viewers, right?
That's right. All right. So as we jump back into this, so we were with Dinar. You were looking at the crates in the bottom of the ship, and they looked pretty much identical. None of them really looked to be any easier to get into than the rest of all. What are you thinking?
I'm curious. Although Dinar, despite being a dragonborn and having a +2 to his strength, is not strong. And I don't mean a +2 modifier.
Yeah.
As a
Your
race, he
racial
has
+2, yeah.
But I think because there's a couple days left, he's gonna take see if he can kind of wedge his way to the back of the crates, and maybe just start digging into one of the ones in the back, so it's not to be super conspicuous.
Okay.
But he's trying to do it stealthily, so that like if somebody comes down, it's not like, hey, what are you doing?
Okay.
Not that he's stealthy. But...
Give me a stealth check
Yep.
to start then.
Okay.
We'll start there.
I'm a big clunky dragon, guys. This might not go well. It's not going well. I rolled a 3 +1, so 4.
Could be better.
Yeah. Not so stealthily. Thankfully, there's not really... I'm just messing with my lighting here. The background's kind of going all funky. That's okay. Added effect, like a real ship cabin. It's like it's a lantern. Not so stealthily, but thankfully there isn't really anybody around or paying attention to notice. Most of the attention seems to be on what's going on, like around the ship and above deck. So nobody's really too concerned with what the guard is doing guarding the crates at the moment.
It's good.
So to try and open one of the crates, do you happen to have a crowbar or anything?
No.
On you?
No, I have.
Okay.
I have claws.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm not trying to necessarily pry one open in the moment, but maybe start to work towards opening one maybe in a day or two. So like just slowly picking away at a corner.
Okay. You give me a strength or a dexterity then. I'll let you choose on this, depending on how you want to approach it.
I'll go dex because that's slightly higher for me.
Okay.
That's a 12 plus 1, so 13.
Okay. Slow-ish progress, but pretty good. You managed to kind of like get your claws under and like lift up the corner. You can kind of see where the nails are and like, okay, pop one of the nails out. Kind of move along, pop another nail out. You're starting to get like about a quarter of one edge kind of pried open.
Satisfied with my progress, Dinar will head back up to the top side to check in on the crew.
Okay. As you head up top side, you immediately notice the inkiness of the water, the black, and you can see everybody just like staring at it and just all eyes kind of cast out. An awkward uneasiness, trepidation.
Do you guys want me to check if that's magical? Again?
Sure as hell isn't natural.
No, that I can tell. Yes. Yes. I'll ritual cast detect magic again.
I mean, we got days to kill. Why not?
Why not?
You gotta do something useful on this ship.
I mean, so far you guys are pretty good at pointing out the obvious, but Just throwing that out there, but glad to have you checking anyway. So
no grand revelations of the deeper mysteries of the Sea of Souls quite yet.
As you're there's not a magical presence per se, but you do catch just the faintest essence of necromancy.
Cool.
Like you understand the school of necromancy. You understand how that magic works with life and death, and it's like it's just there. So it's not necessarily a magical effect, but there is a necromantic element that is there, and it seems to be just like spread out all around you.
Not to state the obvious, but this is real necromantic energy going on here.
Wait, you're telling me there's dead stuff in the Sea of Souls?
Listen, Flick,
Don't let me surprised.
this is what I have to offer.
I'm just busting your chops a bit, new boy. It's all good.
That's fair.
Is there anything you guys would like to do?
Other than, regaling the crew with more tales of Uncle Scab and Auntie Varicella. Yeah, that's
There once was a ship that put to sea, and the name of the ship was a Billy O' Tea. Everybody.
There once was a ship. I didn't catch the name, but I like the song just the same. Hey, can add that to the verses of the song, maybe.
Winds blew up, her bow dipped down. Blow me, bully boys, blow.
Keep doing your thing there, Taylor. As the day progresses and night settles in, something very strange. I mean, it's all strange, but there's no clouds, but you don't see any stars. You don't see the moon. An unnatural darkness seems to blanket both the water below you and the sky above. The wind stops. Everything dies down. The sails just kind of stop. There's no breeze. There's nothing. Everything is just still and dark around you. You can't even hear the water sloshing as the ship actually has been moving, but it starts to kind of slowly come to a stop as there is no wind to guide its sails.
Does my music still come through?
It does. You can still hear kind of, hushed whispers from the crew. Why is it so quiet? I don't know.
Boy, the acoustics on the Sea of Souls are terrible.
Quiet, I'm looking. It's definitely eerie. The captain kind of comes from the wheel, comes down. All right, if you have any knowledge to add, right now would be the best time, because I don't like this one bit.
You want me to detect magic again, Captain?
I don't think that's necessary. I think
I don't quite carry the capabilities to create a gust of wind strong enough to carry us far enough to get out of this area.
Does the Intrepid Devil have oars, perchance?
yeah, we got oars. I don't necessarily want to dip them into the water at the moment unless we can figure out what's going on. So,
Well, Captain, we kind of lost the wind, so if you want to get there and make our payday, then it might be time to bust out the oars.
right, crew. Why don't you head down and get the oars out? It's gonna take us a couple minutes to get them in position, and you guys stay up here. We'll kind of keep an eye out up here, and I'll man the rudder. I don't think we're gonna make much headway, but we'll see what we can do.
Something's better than zero, which is what we're doing now. So,
the crew like eagerly like, yes sir, and they just like go below deck. They're like, we're happy to not be up here right now.
Does the addition of the darkness in the sky ring any bells for Dinar with his history on the sea?
This is not anything natural that you've encountered before.
Nothing that I might maybe have heard a story about or anything from the dwarves?
I can give me a history check.
Sure.
If you'd like.
Talen's going to position himself on the back of the ship and get ready to just start using shape water to propel a little bit of the ship once the oars start going.
Okay.
He's going to be, that's going to be way more efficient than actually rowing.
Rolled an 8 plus 5 for 13 on the history.
Okay. You've heard occasional tale here and there of, a moonless, starless sky, kind of an unnatural darkness. Mostly like, tales that, I heard from a guy who heard it from this, person, from another woman, from a guy, from a, no direct encounters because most of them didn't sail up this way, but there are stories of unnatural darkness in the Sea of Souls that aren't usually a good sign.
Okay.
As soon as we're ready, I'll be able to at least give us somewhat of a boost, hopefully.
All right. What's everybody else doing on deck?
I think Torque is going to go below deck against his preferences just to assist with the rowing.
Okay.
You're going to need like 2 extra crewmen on the other side just to counterbalance you.
He's standing in the middle of the aisle and he's just got one oar in each hand, just.
I can picture that. Okay, so Torque
and
goes
it's
below deck.
night and it's dark, so being in the crow's nest just make a hell of a lot of sense. Flick me down. I guess I'll be up at the prow, just
Stand up on the
watching for anything coming, I guess.
No
Okay.
bark I steer.
Dinar's going to go over to the side of the ship and pull out his decanter of endless water again and pull off the stopper and point it out towards the sea and say geyser, which is going to shoot 30 gallons of water gushing in a 30-foot by 1 foot wide, geyser straight out. Curious to see what happens when the water hits the water.
Okay. Well, it stays wet. The water kind of shoots out into just the darkness, and you kind of hear the splash, like kind of the bubbling. But it doesn't seem to affect the surface of the water. Like you don't see any discoloration or change in color. The water just kind of hits the water and just seems to be just joins it. The sea level rises by 30 feet now. Yeah. Give me a perception check as you've done that.
Okay. Not great. 10 plus 1, 11.
You hear there's a splashing of the water, and you can just make out a secondary kind of splash or sloshing sound. It's hard to say where it's coming from. It doesn't sound like it was part of your geyser water, though.
Could I perhaps deduce that it sounds like footsteps on water?
It's not footsteps. It sounds like something moving the water, though.
That's not me.
Okay. There is something out there moving in the water besides us.
Interesting. If I move on down to where Dinar is, can I see the water moving?
Give me a perception check.
Why do we suck at rolling tonight?
Seriously. I'll shout down into the hold. Hey, little guy, be ready for action on deck.
Just drops the oars.
It moves half as fast now.
It's like it's slammed on the brakes. Just
yeah, Talon, you don't see anything out there.
Then I will move back to my spot and ready to get the water moving once we're ready to get those oars.
Okay.
Because with the mind on where my pistol is located.
Dinar, you hear sound of like something on wood.
I will
coming.
Immediately look down the boat. Do I see
Based
something
on
climbing
Craig's
up?
hand motions.
You look down and you don't see anything until you look over to the side and you can just see a dark shape, vaguely humanoid, just unnaturally, just kind of like making its way up the side of the ship.
I will, with my looking left with my right hand, I will pull up a firebolt and chuck it down at the entity climbing the boat as I'm yelling out, "There's something boarding!"
Okay, go ahead and give me an attack roll then.
Okay, this is 15 plus 5, 20.
That'll hit.
All right, and 1d10. Where's my d10? That is a 10. I do 4 fire damage. Sorry, 4. That was my d10. Yes, 4 fire damage, and if it's flammable, he ignites. It ignites.
All right.
I mean, most things are flammable.
Having come directly from the water?
Probably not, unless it's oil-based.
I'm thinking maybe not.
All right. As you kind of, in the light of your firebolt, as you cast out and hit this and it kind of ignites, you can now see this, what appears to be a bloated, very swollen corpse, as its face just kind of looks over. And we're going to have everybody roll initiative.
Yeah.
I was wondering when that was gonna come up.
Initiative, you say? Oh, I should select.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
Hey,
Right.
there you go.
Bad rolls are over. Just kidding. Mine was bad.
Oh,
Oh, man.
I rolled a 2.
Prepare
Sucks.
yourself to fight. Come, we must unite. Draw forth your rapier and powder. Set sail with us tonight. Because you're free with us to see.
All right. So, Tailends.
So I hear Donar call out that there is something. So I guess I'll take a quick look around. If I don't see anything immediate, then I'll run over to Donar.
Okay.
Not
You
on
wanna
the
do,
level of like making a perception. It's just like if anything's in like easy, like immediate vicinity that I can see right now.
Okay. You don't see anything directly around you at all. No.
Okay, then I will 5, 10, 15, 20, move over to Donar.
Okay.
And look down, I guess, at what he was throwing a firebolt at.
Okay, so looking down into the water or to the side of the ship, as you get closer, you see this just this bloated corpse, just like it's kind of scorch mark on its side, face misshapen, flesh kind of sloughing off of it. It's just like clinging to the side of the ship unnaturally.
Just the one?
That you can see, yep.
Nifty.
Bodes well.
Okay. We'll go with something a little more. I mean, it's undead. I guess we'll just blow it away. Why don't we? Eat hot lead. And I will, with this little swish of my fingers and a whisper under my breath, I will gather up what dirt and dust is upon the ship and infuse it into my pistol and take a shot. With a 12 to hit.
12 does not hit, unfortunately.
All right. Oh boy!
You see as you kind of point towards it and take the shot, and as you do, it just kind of like hugs itself against the ship, reacting.
In that case, that's going to be a little worrying, and I will raise my one hand and cause the wind of gust of movement to send me back about 10 feet out from the edge.
Okay. Some more homebrew goodness for you.
We've got it. Well, yeah, my whole turn was homebrew.
Yeah.
We've got undead.
All right, Dinar.
So this thing is like halfway up the ship. I'd have to be right on the edge to see it and shoot.
It's getting pretty close.
All right.
Like it's making its way up.
Dinar is going to take a step back, and then just hurl another firebolt at it.
Okay.
14 plus 5, 19 to hit.
That'll hit.
And D10 is 7 fire damage to the target.
7. All right. Your second firebolt just kind of like bursts like right through its center as it just kind of like just kind of slides down off the ship and just plunks into the water and out of sight.
One down. Anybody see any others?
Not yet.
Is that it?
I'll let you know what I'm doing.
Is that it for you?
Yes.
Okay. Tail end, you've kind of moved back.
Mm-hmm.
You hear behind you as another one climbs over the railing onto the ship.
Hi.
Slashes out at you with like hands that are just kind of like swollen and mutated. That's going to be a 13 to hit you.
I'm pretty sure that just gets me. Yep, it does.
Okay.
Only wearing a leather waistcoat.
Or 4 bludgeoning damage.
Oh.
It just kind of hits you, and you're like, oh. And in the spot where it hit you left behind you, you can just see this like weird like mucus like filth just kind of like left like hanging on your shirt. And it stinks. Flick. looking on this side of the ship.
Yeah, huh?
Just kind of popping over the.
Oh, hi.
This one still kind of hangs off the side of the ship. Actually, it's just kind of like arms kind of over the railing. Kind of looks at you and lets out this just blast of this kind of icky filth from its mouth.
Well, that sounds good.
I don't think a 7 hits you though.
7 does not hit, oddly enough.
All right, it just kind of stares you down, like unnaturally long tongue, thick tongue, like filling its whole mouth, just kind of comes out. The captain is watching all this, and he's like, that's gross. Hang tight, Taylor. And comes running down. And just runs right after this thing, pulls out a scimitar, makes a swing at it. And he misses. Not going to hit. I rolled a 2.
Come on, Boone.
As he just kind of like misjudges his aim in the darkness. And that's right, I'm here. Tell him we'll take this one on together.
Righto.
Torque.
Torque is going to have his maul in hand, and he's going to begin uttering a prayer. And as he does, you see these like blue peels of electricity begin to crackle around the anchor, and they just slowly spread up his arms, and just it begins to just radiate around his body as he just hangs his head and says, "I am the rising tide, I am the crashing wave. My will is yours, my heart is yours. May the falling tide carry away my sins and transgressions, and may my enemies find rest in your dark embrace." And Torque is going to enter a rage.
That was beautiful. I love it. I love like the calm rage.
So as a 10-foot aura expands out from Torque, I am going to need this zombie here hanging over the railing to make a dexterity saving throw.
Sure. I will do that. That's a +2. 17.
Pity. That's a pass. So he's only going to take 1 lightning damage.
Okay.
But that was only a bonus action. So for my action, I'm going to step over there, and I am going to make a reckless attack against him. Does a 12 do anything?
Fortunately, that does not. He manages. He gets his one like big bloated arm up and just kind of like just manages to deflect your blow just enough off to the side where it kind of hits the railing instead.
That's about all I can do this turn.
All right. Like.
All right. Flick, he does that thing like Yoda, where he like the whip suddenly disappears in his hand. It sort of zips off his belt into his hand.
Nice.
And then he's going to lash out at this cat up here. Right. So this is just a regular little whip attack. Boom! 16 hit.
That will hit. Yes, sir.
You can enjoy 10 slashing damage.
Ooh, wow. Nicely done.
Nice.
Whip.
As it, you see as it's kind of engaged with Torque as it's deflected this blow, and taking advantage of that, you kind of come up behind him and lash the whip out and catch it and prepare them right in the face, and it just kind of loses its grip and falls back. You hear it splashing into the water below.
That's my free object interaction. The whip gets hung back on my belt. Shield is up, and I'm ready to... I will move. I'm going to move right there.
Good job, whippersnapper.
Oh, quick question. Do you do 5-foot diagonals?
The first is 5, and then
Is it 5, 10, 5?
or 10s, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Tayland.
Question for you, Craig. Does your spell, Gust of Movement, provoke opportunity attacks? Because it says it does not expend my movement. So
It does not.
It does not.
No, it's like that's
cool.
yeah. It's the idea is that it kind of gets you out of.
That's what I intended to use it for, so
Yeah.
I need to make sure that's what it can be used.
Yes.
I am going to draw my rapier, and as I do that, as it comes out, I am going to whisper a few words along the blade, and as it pulls out, it's coated in a briny salt water, and then go to stab this creature that is directly in front of me with my very briny blade for a critical hit.
Ooh.
Nice.
Dang.
First crit of the game.
For 11 acid damage.
Ooh.
That'll do it. So where are you hitting this thing? Where are you stabbing it?
Let's go for right in the forehead.
All right. You just like pierce right through, and as the acid helps that, and the head just like.
The corrosive salt water, corrosive brine.
Yeah. The head just like kind of like. I won't describe the grossness of it, but yeah, you just right through the head, and just like.
And just for good measure, I think I'll saddle on up closer to Donar. How we doing?
2 on this side.
Nar.
I think because Dinar can cast from a ways out, he's gonna go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 up towards the highest part of the ship, and just prepare a firebolt for anything that comes over the sides if I can direct that to either side of the ship.
Okay, so basically
That's
anything that comes within range that you
Anything
can see.
that comes within range, yeah. He'll unleash the firebolt at that target.
Got it. All right. Captain just kind of moves towards the center of the deck here and just has his sword in hand. He's like, "Right, you see any more of those things? What?
Should we attempt to get moving? Because there may be more of them, and as long as we're here, we could be dealing with them for a long time."
Yeah, I'll get them going down there." And he kind of runs over to the stairs and just goes down a little bit. It's like, "All right, fast to the orders, folks. Let's get going. Let's get moving quickly here." Torque at the front of the ship. You hear kind of like a slow kind of scraping sound, accompanied by what sounds like kind of like metal and wood, like. And coming up over the front of the ship, you see something a little bit different. There's still that bloatedness to this creature, this entity. There's weird deformities kind of growing out of it here, but you can see like barnacles and like, you know, spots where it looks like there's shells and stuff kind of attached to it and growing out of it as well. But there's a somewhat more of a sentience almost in its eyes and awareness as it kind of comes from the ship and kind of stomps down. And it's got this really wicked looking rusty long sword. And it just kind of looks around the ship and looks at you.
Is it my turn?
It is your turn.
Do I
Just
try
makes it up at the
firebolt?
top of the ship there. Yes, you can ready your firebolt.
Well, that ain't hitting. That's a 2.
It
To 2 plus 5, so.
actually dodges, sees it coming, just you know, like that like big ugly orc in Lord of the Rings again. You remember Prince where like sees the
Yeah,
catapult
yeah,
coming
yeah,
and just watches it and just like
All right. Well, no hesitation. Torque is going to rush up there, and he's going to make another reckless attack.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, then.
Finally,
Hello.
Nice.
good fucking food.
Beautiful.
Reckless attack, double your rolls, double your fun. So with the rage damage, that is going to be
A
Wow.
lot. Holy cow.
24.
Wow.
That is 24, right? Is my math
yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a bonus action, I'm going to need this this guy to make a dexterity saving throw.
Gotcha.
Torque is no joke, man.
That is a 5 minus 1 for 4.
He's going to take the full 6 lightning damage as well.
Wow.
You did
That's a
30
hit.
points of damage on your turn. That's pretty solid.
Barbarians, man.
Yeah.
Pretty solid hit, and you can see like you took a good like chunk out of it, but it just kind of like seems to still be standing and weathered that quite well.
Hmm.
Is that it for Torque?
That's all I can do.
All right, Flick.
Yeah, so similar thing. I gotta move to here. Bonus action, whip appears in my hand, and I will lash out at this cat. Ooh, a 9's not gonna do jack shit.
As the whip comes out, it whips up its rusty sword and just swipes it aside.
All right. Whip goes back on the belt. Shield is up. I'm done.
Talon.
Right. How does it? So it looks like it had a chunk taken out of it. Does it still look rather healthy, or does it look like it's teetering?
It does. Nope. It looks to weather decked. It looks pretty sturdy. Like it's got some good girth to it. I don't know. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, I will do a little discordant melody. A poor old man came riding by, and we say so, and we know so. Says I, old man, you now shall die. Oh, poor old man. Needs to make a wisdom save.
Wisdom save. Okay. That's a 15.
Ah, that's a success. Oh wow, I rolled really low anyway. Wait a minute. Oh my god. That is unfortunate.
Wow.
So he takes half of that.
So 3?
No, there's an extra 3 in there, so there's 9, so he's gonna take 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
4 psychic damage. That was 4d6. Oh. Oh, that's painful.
Oh my goodness.
That
wow.
is. Yeah, that's brutal. Sorry, man.
Yeah, well, I got a crit my last turn, so.
I've got a couple crits in already now, yeah.
But since I still have my bonus action, I'm going to
right.
use that discordant whisper or the discordant melody to give a bardic inspiration to Torque.
Okay.
All right. The D6 at this level?
It is, yes.
All right, Dinar.
All right, seeing that this target is weathering Torque's attack a little bit better, just need to make sure that I am within range of this thing. Oh yeah, plenty of room. Dinar is going to wrap up the leather strap around his arm, find his magical words for acid arrow, grab a little.
Oh god, please don't hit the mast.
Grab a little powdered rhubarb and an adder's stomach, and then thrust his claws out forward and cast acid arrow at the target. So ranged spell attack here. Oh, I couldn't have rolled. Well, I could have rolled worse. That's a 3 plus 5. It's probably not going to do anything.
Kind of hard to see it around the girth of Torque.
And the mast.
And the mast. So you managed, unfortunately, fire wide.
All right. Dinar will reposition to the edge of the boat and maybe just a side eye out the side to see if there's anything else coming, but more so just so we can get a better shot at the target.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Captain Boone is going to stay below deck and he's like, oh, do what I paid you for.
Yep.
And that's it. All right. Orc, this creature just kind of smiles at you, wields its wicked rusted sword, and just in a surprising burst of speed that you weren't expecting, just starts to lash at you with a couple of attacks. But an 8 is not going to hit you.
Well, I did attack recklessly, so he will have advantage.
That is right.
The 12 will not hit either, though.
Okay. On his second attack, though, we'll do this with proper. Oh my word!
You're
Wow!
rolling as good as we are.
Got that shell. Clang, clang, clang.
Man, that is wow. Okay.
He is having a shell of a time, let me tell you.
Oh,
Oh.
chat's gonna love that one.
Okay. Torque, I do need you to make a Constitution saving throw at the end of its turn for me.
You
please.
can add my Bardic Inspiration die to that.
I sure can. We'll see if I need it. Whoops, that's not supposed to be an advantage.
Either one of those is gonna fail anyways.
Well,
Unless
I'll roll the inspiration on that.
Okay.
Oh.
He's
Still not gonna help you, unfortunately.
Man.
As you're just kind of in the presence of it, you realize now there's this aura kind of emanating off of it, this stench, just this rot, this incredible sense of rot that just kind of gets right into your nostrils, and you take 4 points of poison damage.
Okay.
That is half from 8 already from your rage. Yeah, as you're just like that gagging in the back of your throat, right? Like, and it is your turn.
All right. I'm just going to look down at this guy. He's just going to see these bright yellow eyes facing down on him. He's going to say in a low voice, just return to Desfuna's embrace. And that's going to be another reckless attack.
Nice. Nice. 17 will hit.
One of those was a 1, so very glad I did that. So that's going to be 13 bludgeoning damage. And again, as a bonus action, I'm going to need him to make a dexterity save.
Okay. Super great at these. 12 minus 1 is 11.
It's just shy of passing, so he's going to take the full brunt of this. This one lightning damage.
Oh
man.
14
I mean,
damage
at this
that's
point,
pretty
it's
good.
just par for the course.
All right. He's
I got max damage on the last one, so it's a bit of a karmic rope-a-dope.
starting to look rough. Flick.
As a bonus action, I'm going to make a perception check just to make sure there's no more of these critters climbing up. So just quick look around, just make sure this is the last one.
You don't see anything in the
Okay.
immediate vicinity moving up around you.
Awesome. All right. So as my free object interaction, I will draw my whip normally, like a plebe here,
Right down.
and then I will lash out at this bad boy. Here we go.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that'll hit.
That'll hit for 11 slashing.
That there will hit him.
That's max damage on that one.
Nicely done. Yeah, he's definitely just kind of hanging on. He's like Still got that evil grin on his face. What he has of one.
And I'm done.
Okay. We can see like just this like goop, like black ichor just like kind of pouring out of, dripping out of him. The deck is just like stained around where he's standing.
Delicious. The crew's gonna love
Ayland.
that.
Right. Let's try that again. He's as dead as a nail in a lamp room door, and we say so, and we know so, and he won't come worrying us no more. Oh, poor old man. DC 13 Wisdom save. That's a damage is a little nicer.
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom save, that is a 12.
Hey,
He has I actually rolled a 13 and he has a -1.
That's 20 psychic damage.
Wow.
And in addition to that, he must immediately use his reaction to move as far as its speed allows away from me.
Well, he's not going to have a reaction.
Avoiding to move away from dangerous ground, such as fire in a pit and such like that.
He's not going to have a reaction.
Heads it.
As you just see him look at you kind of like, you just see this like black ichor just like kind of come over his ears. He's just like, just like collapses into this puddle on the deck.
His head explodes, scanner style.
All right. For the moment,
Now we're through, so we'll go on shore, and it's time for us to leave her.
as you look around, there doesn't seem to be anything else climbing up on the sides of the deck.
Then I will immediately go to the back of the ship and begin doing a melody of the seas to shape water and improve our speed as best I can without having
Okay.
to physically use my arms.
Torque, you can still there's this stench that's just coming up, this reek coming up off of this what's left of this corpse in the front of the deck, and you can see the stains starting to set into the deck itself.
I'm gonna draw out a javelin and just stick it in, and then just, as I said, return to Desfuna's embrace, and just kind of like I'm using one of those poking sticks to pick up trash, and just stick it through the abdomen, and then just tip it over the edge.
All right. Clear it off of the deck. The captain kind of pokes his head back up. Hey, we good? We're gonna keep rowing down here.
Yep.
Take care of them.
No man on the totem pole's got a spot to swab in the morning, but otherwise I think we're good.
You can't see any magic. You magic-y guys just kind of like, we're. That's okay. Leave the crew for that. You guys did. You did.
I can do this, okay. and Flick is now juggling magic illusionary balls. I'm like, that's all I got, man.
Captain, do you want me to detect magic on that ichor over there?
Hey, if you want, I'm not going to stop you, but I mean, if that's your thing, go for it. All right.
Turn the ship around me, boys. Turn around and run.
After a few moments, just as the calm kind of settles back in, the black inkiness of the water remains, but you see one kind of like pinpoint star in the sky, followed by another. The natural light of the night returns, so it's not completely dark. That unnatural darkness dissipates, and the breeze just picks up again, just enough. It starts to steadily become enough of a current to fill the sails once more.
I am not
Fantastic
a pirate,
thing.
but I long to be sailing by the stars beneath the seventh sea.
We all need to do this, right? Whose line is it anyway? And I think that's actually a good spot for us to end for our episode 1 here. It's
Oh,
getting close
Dave,
to
has it
3
been
hours.
3 hours
Stormy
already?
oceans
Jeez.
carry us
Almost,
to lands
yeah,
we've
yeah.
never known, to mysteries
that's a
and
good
buried
spot to
secrets
stop.
from the tales of old. So hoist the sail and raise the flag. We do not stop for night. We'll ride the wild winds and the waves until the
What
morning's
if I just
light.
muted Devin right now? I can just like I can
it's an
mute
option.
on
It's an
the
option.
Zoom there. I can just pop that. No, I'm not gonna do that. All right. Well, thank you, everyone who joined us. We had some good viewership there. I was pleased with that. Apparently, there was some good punnage going on in chat that I
Got to review
wasn't paying
the
attention to.
transcript afterwards.
I'll have to go and review the transcript because my pun-loving heart will enjoy that. I'm sure. But we will pick up next time as we continue the voyage, the second half of the voyage across the Sea of Souls, as the Intrepid Devil makes its way for the port on the Isle of Morn to deliver the shipment to the Ivory Spire, and we will see what the Sea of Souls has in store for the crew. But thanks for joining us. Hope that you enjoyed that, and we will see you in not next week, but 2 weeks. We will be doing these every other Monday, just because we've, life and stuff, happens. But for now, we'll be doing this every other week. But stay tuned to our Twitch channel. We've got YouTube. We've got on Twitter. We do have a Patreon that we will be giving some more information on and launching soon. And we have podcasts. We have episode 1 of our podcast up on Podbean right now. And we will have future episodes that will be coming shortly. We'll be talking about all kinds of things. It's Podbean. It's elderbraincast.podbean.com. I think our first episode we're talking about character creation and just what goes into making a good character. But we'll be doing podcasts on all kinds of stuff, D&D related and RPG related. So if podcasts are your thing, then you'll definitely want to check that out. But that's it for tonight. So thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.